Hello, everybody. I'm excited to be here with you all. This is Katie Ganderton, also known as Tenacious Kate. And we are on episode 13 right now. Whoop, whoop. We are climbing our way on up there. But this week we're talking about lead and leadership. And I've pivoted a little bit and I really want to focus on leadership. It's something that I'm extremely passionate about. And I feel like a lot of people struggle with it. And I would say by no means am I 100% perfect on it. There's always that room for growth, but it's something that we have so many people that are in a leadership role or title or position throughout the direct sales industry, network marketing industry, but yet not understanding how to lead in that leadership role. And so I feel like it's a really important to talk on this issue because people, they need help, they need guidance. Some people are what we would consider an accidental leader. And I mean, you could Google types of leaders and you're going to get all sorts of answers from there's 6 types, there's 4 types, there's 11 types, there's 12 types. There's a lot of types of leaders. Okay. So, one of the ones I really want to touch on though is maybe the newer leader or the person that has become a leader without necessarily having the time to develop those skills naturally. They've just kind of fallen into or promoted maybe very quickly, had a team go very quickly and not necessarily based on their leadership skills. And so I want to touch on that because leadership is something that what do they say? If everything rises and falls on leadership, and it's really, really important with a business that you want to continue to move forward. And if you want people to continue to look at you for advice and look to you for advice and trust in what you're saying, you want to make sure that you are constantly pouring into yourself, investing in yourself. One of the things I often hear people say is like, oh yeah, when I have the money, I'll go get a coach. And I can't tell you how beyond backwards that is. It's, I know in my own business, it was, I wanted to hit the top of my company and I just knew I'm like, I know what's at the top of my company. I don't have it yet. I needed some help. And so I went and invested in learning the tools and learning the skills and, sharpening my skills, sharpening my knowledge of being able to coach and teach and analyze all of those things. And then guess what? I hit the top of my company. Right. And that's what helped me truly almost 10x my business within an 8 to 9 month time frame, which was phenomenal. And I don't take it lightly in any way, shape, or form. So leadership is something that has got to be constantly invested in. I say that it's that mountain that has no top. Like you're going to be climbing that mountain always, because it's something that you can never stop improving enough, and does it ebb and flow? Absolutely. But there's definitely times where you just have to always be growing. And when you are at that point and you're like, oh yeah, I think I'm good, I've hit my wherever I need to be, and you just stop, then your organization stops and you stop growing, you stop developing, you stop being able to pour into people, you stop advancing your knowledge and learning different skills, you stop getting in front of other people that are going to lift you and pour into you and give you their skills and potentially those golden nuggets, which can really take, your knowledge, your leadership style, your leadership skills and your business to a whole nother level. Right. So, leadership's all about taking initiative, right? I don't know many leaders that take it seriously, that are just like, I'm just going to sit and hang back and, collect the paycheck. Right. That's not leadership, right? That's definitely, it's more like that dictatorship role of you do all the work, I'm going to collect all the pay. Right. So leadership's all about taking initiative and setting a good example for others. Right. And it's doing the do, it's walking the talk, it's doing what you said you would do. And when you do what you say you're going to do, that builds credibility. It builds posture. People can trust you. They see what you've done. They know you're invested. They know you're not going anywhere. They can trust what you're doing. And this goes the same for people that are looking to join you in business. And particularly I'm talking about that network marketing industry or the direct sales industry, because And that's where I'm an expert in. And when people see somebody that's like, yes, I'm an awesome leader, and then they don't show up and they don't help out, they don't touch base with their team, they don't communicate, they aren't present, they're not involved, that speaks an entirely different language, and it's confusing and it's not trustworthy to people, right? So you want to make sure that you're setting that good example, you're inspiring, you're motivating, you're empowering people to reach their full potential, right? To also be a successful leader. And if you want to be in that successful leader role, you have to act as you think a successful leader would act, right? You have to fill those shoes, so other people can emulate and they can look and say, oh, okay, so that's what she does. This is how she does it. Wow, she just continues. She continues to learn and grow and whatnot. Okay, that's the stuff you want to do. And the other thing too is you need to get really good on developing your communication skills. Okay, leaders need to be able to effectively communicate with those around them, learning to articulate your thoughts and feelings to others, right, in a clear manner. Sometimes I see people, in this industry, especially now that we've hit the social selling and the social media realm of things, it's so easy to copy and paste everything, and it kind of gets to be abused, and it's kind of gross because I see it all the time. I mean, I could you see one girl's post and then I can see it 15 other times within a matter of minutes of each other, and not one thing has changed on it, or maybe like one tiny thing has changed, and it's just like there's no authenticity. There's no skill there to copy and paste. If you want to be a leader, it doesn't mean you can't, borrow and tweak and edit and make it your own, but it doesn't mean take verbatim. And I think that that's really, really key, is making sure that you tweak whatever it is that you're doing and make it your own, because you are trying to attract a specific type of person to you. And if it doesn't sound like you, if it doesn't, ruminate with you, it's not going to with anybody else, right? So you've got to make sure that, that you're putting you into everything. Okay. But yes, back to developing your communication skills. You want to make sure that you're communicating with those around, right? And articulating your thoughts and feelings to others in a clear manner. You have to have a clear expectation. So when you set a meeting, it's not, oh, hey, maybe we can meet here, maybe we could meet there. No, you want to make sure and say, hey, we're discussing this at this time on this day. This is what we're going to be going over. It's really important to me for this, and this, right? So you're being very clear and concise. And I've recently done this, and I've had people say like, oh yeah, can you go ahead and record that? I'll get to it. And not to be a total but I didn't record it because, if you want to be a leader and you want to be on a leadership call, then you need to make it a priority to show up on the call and be there, right? And so what we've gone forward is we've set a calendar for it, and we know like, okay, hey, this is when we're doing our leadership calls. We need to make sure this is on our calendar. I'm not going to record them. Like, you need to be on those calls because they should be important to you. And, if you want to be seen as a leader and you want to act like a leader, you want to learn like a leader, you want to teach like a leader, and you have somebody who is willing to invest in you and give you the skills and the tools and the knowledge and their wisdom, you have to figure out what is your priority. Is that a priority to you? Or is there something else, that you feel is better? So that falls on your plate as to what's the priority to you. When we talk about being a successful leader, you also want to start understanding that you can't handle it all. I don't believe that there's any successful person out there that does 100% of everything themselves. There is a point in your business, and that goes for anybody. I mean, you could talk about any other business owner out there. There's definitely, they have teams. They have teams that work with them. They have teams that work around them, that work for them, that help them, right? Be able to delegate tasks. That is so important because, again, you as a leader, you want to be able to recognize what your strengths and what your weaknesses are, and that's something where if that's not your strength and you don't enjoy doing something, find somebody that is fabulous at it and let them use their expertise so that you can turn and use your zone of genius where it's better served. And then you're more efficient, then you're more effective with those people in the realm that you love to be in and that lights you up. Okay. And if whatever it is over here doesn't light you up, it isn't exciting, you know, it's that task that you continue to push off and it drives you crazy, delegate it out. You know, one of the other things that you hear is, oh gosh, I don't know if I could afford that. Let's talk about that really quick. So I want you to think about if you're saying that to yourself, first off, you're coming in a scarcity mindset and your mindset is all about money. And you're talking to yourself like, gosh, I can't afford this. I can't afford this. Remember, what you put out there is what you're going to continue to get. Okay. So you want to start fulfilling that role as that leader no, if you're going to be this type of leader, I mean, is that person going to be able to afford somebody to help them do this task? Chances are yes. Okay. So find somebody. You may do some searching. There's plenty of different sites out there that have so many resources available for you to be able to plug into. If you need some, please make sure you comment on this. I've got some absolute amazing resources that have been helpful, and some are more budget friendly than other ones. But I will tell you, when I was able to get some of those things off of my plate, not only did it take the anxiety off of my shoulders, right, but it also allowed me to not have to worry and think about this over here because I was like, it was taken care of. So now I can be more productive and more effective doing what I'm good at, sharing my knowledge, doing and teaching things, as opposed to saying, gosh, okay, man, I've got to go ahead and create this little, lead magnet over here, or this little like workbook over here, right? That's not necessarily my strong suit as far as the creative realm of things goes. So if I know that about myself, I'm going to give it to somebody that's going to get it done in a flash, as opposed to me spending half a day on it and getting frustrated over it, right? Okay, so know when to delegate. Build strong relationships. Okay, encourage collaboration as well. Okay, you want to make sure that people see you as somebody that's a connector. Like if you know that somebody needs a resource and you know that you have a resource that you could share that could help that person, do the right thing and connect them, right? You are not taking any power away from anybody by helping somebody else out, right? You're not, and instead, like you become this amazing person who's now connected somebody that has helped them out, and you build your credibility, right? So be a connector to people that are looking for different things that you could potentially help them with. Build strong relationships with people. Get yourself in a room with people, start asking questions, be the one that asks more questions than does the talking. And I think as well, if you're talking about the network marketing industry, communicate with build the relationships with your team. It doesn't mean that everybody's going to be your best friend, right? But you will have those people that that do become those great friends, and that you can not communicate for a little while. And when you do, it's almost like you picked back up and no time had gone by, right? Start building those relationships with people, because, one thing I find is as people get older, it's hard. It seems to be harder for people to connect and to build those relationships. So again, you could be that amazing connector and that relationship builder for people. Okay. And then you need to possess strong communication skills to effectively explain those tasks and goals. And then also listening to that feedback, right? Leadership is about setting that positive example and inspiring others to reach their highest potential, right? One thing that I've noticed much more recently with some coaches and stuff that are out there is this like attack mode, this almost like I'm better than mentality. But people are buying it. It's like people love to see this put down methodology, and almost as a form of coaching. And it's like they're almost mocking these people that are doing things. And it's not a matter of maybe the person's not doing it on purpose. Maybe they don't know any better. Maybe they are trying to improve, and maybe this is how they've been taught, or maybe this is something that they're trying to work through, and they don't have a coach. Maybe they don't have a sponsor that has stuck around, and they're this island over here, and they don't have fantastic resources. So they're doing the best they can. And I'm seeing a lot of coaches almost just like scoffing at it and thinking it's, hilarious with this, and people are eating it up. like they're eating it up as if it's like hilarious. And, some of them are probably doing the same stuff and they're laughing at themselves, but it's one of the things I've definitely noticed that I feel needs to shift in our industry, because that's not setting a positive example. And that, you know, I don't know about inspiring. It definitely creates that humor in a sense, but it's almost like not a good humor. It's mocking people that maybe they do know better. Maybe they don't know better. Chances in my mind, I'm going to guess, are they don't know better, right? That's what I'm going to lean on. And I really do think that if we can set that positive example and teach maybe and coach, that's the way that we want to be. Okay. So that's a really good thing. Another step that I want to go over, and I'll go over a couple more for this podcast, is, being a leader takes hard work and it takes education. You guys already heard me talk about the never ending mountain that you're going to climb. And if you're just the person that's copying and pasting one leader to another leader, or, taking from one leader and just copying and pasting over to your team, you're leaving out all of your leadership capabilities. And you've got to really work on, growing as that leader and infiltrating your own voice into, what it is that you're trying to say, so that you have a voice, because your voice is just as important as that whatever the person is that you're copying from. So you've got to make sure that you're doing that. And it's really rewarding when people get to hear from authentically you. Like, that's rewarding. They want to hear that kind of stuff. Okay. So it builds your confidence as well. You guys, confidence is key for any leader. You have to build yourself. And when I say, the confidence is key, is because it's something that when you join a network marketing company, sometimes you end up with a team immediately, right? And you're going, oh my gosh, I don't even know what just happened. I don't have any leadership skills. I've never led a team before. What is going on? Remember that maybe it's a day more experience, but you have a day more experience than that person that just joined your team, or a week more experience than the person that just joined your team. It's something that you do have the skill set to be that leader, but you have to show up as that leader for the person. Okay. It doesn't mean that you say, oh my gosh, I have no idea what I'm doing. It means, you know what? Let's figure this out together. Let's get our questions answered. Let me ask a couple questions. I will get right back to you with the answer. Okay. That means that you're going to go be resourceful. You're going to find the answer. You're not just going to, blow the person off. You're not just going to ignore your responsibilities. Right. And when you do that, that builds your confidence, because guess what? You went and you did a skill. You learned what you needed to, and then you turned and taught it. When you can turn and teach a skill, that is what builds that confidence. That is what ingrains into your brain. That's where you start to really remember things. You start to be able to teach them without having to think. They just become second nature to you. Okay. Listen and learn. Leaders need to be able to listen to the ideas and opinions of those around them. That is super important. Okay. And you want to make sure that you're open to learning from others. That is one thing that is also really tough sometimes, is people want to always make sure that you are valuing them, that you are hearing them. And when people feel like they are heard and valued, that is when you get a transformation in a relationship. Okay. Because they will trust you moving forward. So making sure that you listen and learn to the ideas and opinions of other people. Because again, you want to make sure that you surround yourself with people that are going to lift you up and improve you and make you better than what you are. Right. But you have to actively be a participant in that as well. All right. You want to also take initiative. Take that action. Show that you are willing to take those risks and make decisions on your own, right? Sometimes I see leaders that just sit and wait. They sit and they wait, and they're just like, oh, I don't think we're going to do anything until this leader does something, and then we'll jump on board with it. No, you guys, do your own thing. Take that initiative. There's nothing that's saying that, oh gosh, she's not allowed to do this because her leader didn't say so, right? So take the initiative, you take action, and you show that you're willing to do this. Because again, this also will build your confidence. It's going to build your credibility. It is going to put you into that uncomfortable position to grow into an amazing leader. And then next time something comes up, it's not going to be as scary, right? Because you've already done it at this point, which is awesome. Okay. Leading by example. Best leaders are those who lead by example. Okay, so setting a good example for others by following rules, being respectful, and exhibiting a positive attitude. It doesn't mean that you need to go walk around like rainbow bright. Like, please don't, because I know that that's probably not your genuine, authentic self. But I can tell you that you do want to make sure that you are able to work through scenarios with somebody if they are getting, if they're in a tough place, that you're able to help them overcome objections, that you're able to help with their mindset. Okay, those are some good things. You are able to flip the script out of negativity and into positivity so that they can take what they are learning from this failure or mistake. Because again, remember, failure is not a bad thing. It's just a matter of having to shift the perspective on it. Okay. But leading by example is unbelievably important, and you hear people say, like, the team will do what the leader does. So show up. If the leader's like taking a break for the next 4 months, the team is also going to take a break. Be present, be intentional, and be that leader of the team. Be that leader that you want to follow. Okay. Empower others. Leaders empower those around them. They encourage and support others to reach their goals and strive for success. Remember, this is not a self-serving business. This is a servanthood business. You have to be willing to serve others. And that comes with empowering them, giving them tools. Some people, I've heard people keep secrets because they don't want somebody else to know, because they don't want them to get an edge on them. That is the most absurd and ridiculous thing I've ever heard, and most self-serving thing I have ever heard, because there are plenty of people to go around in this world. Okay, so empower those around you, encourage them, support them as they hit their goals. Okay, and then finally, you guys stay organized. Okay, organization and planning are essential for any leader. Okay, so keep track of tasks, prioritize accordingly. Know that, having time management is super, super important. Understanding, where you're supposed to be, what your schedule is supposed to look like, that's a skill. Time management is not an automatic thing. It's a skill that has to be learned, and it always has to be tweaked. Okay. Cause it's something that, it takes practice. And as you go through all different phases in life and you morph into different things, just know that life's going to happen and your schedule's going to get off. You're going to get things thrown your way. You're going to, so many things are going to happen. So you have to know that is something that always does need to stay a priority, is making sure that you stay as organized as possible. Okay. So things are functioning, and it doesn't mean spotless, you guys. Things don't have to be perfect. Okay. Doing things messy is better than not doing them at all. But I will say, if you have some form of organization, whether you're a piler, whether you are, someone that does everything on computer, if you're someone that writes everything down, having some form of organization that you can understand and that you get, and it gives you some like roadmap to be able to focus on your business, focus moving forward, function properly. Having organization keeps your mind more clean. It helps you to, process things better. It doesn't make you as distracted. Okay. So those are some great things when we talk about leadership. And so, I loved this topic. I really, really, really did love this topic on how to lead in leadership. I feel like it's a topic that I love. And it's a topic that it needs constant touching on, because I think sometimes people feel like they've hit something, or that someone else is going to do the work for them, or that they can go take all these breaks. And I will tell you, in network marketing, yes, you can take breaks in your business. But I will tell you, if you plan ahead and you can plan for that break, you will have much more success overall with your business, with your team, in general, than if you just disappear out of thin air and don't communicate with anybody. Don't just kind of poof, there she goes. And then, oh, here she comes again. Like, it just breaks that trust. It breaks that consistency cycle that you have with your customers, with your team. So making sure that, again, that you set yourself up to lead in leadership, and that you own it, that you own it wholeheartedly and embrace it, and embrace the challenges, embrace the hard times. Know that you're not the only one that's ever experienced any of these hardships at all. Everybody in leadership, those that are going to go after you and those that have gone before you, are also going to experience things as well. And it's part of the growth process in leadership. But it is something that we all would be taught, because we're going to have to turn and give that wisdom to somebody else in the future. And I feel like that's truly why we go through many of the challenges, many of the roadblocks and obstacles. That's when we climb a mountain and we feel defeated, it's we are at a breakthrough, and you have to continue to push just a little bit more to get through to the other side. And that's in that Think and Grow Rich, it was Darby, and when he was mining for gold in Colorado, and he hit that gold vein, and he thought he dried it up, and he sold everything for $100. And this was way back, way back, when you could mine all the gold. And it ended up, the gentleman that bought it went in, and he didn't really know a whole lot about it. And he hired somebody who was smarter than him and knew more about fault lines. And he said, oh no, there was a fault line. So when that happens, chances are it's moved over by 3 to 4 feet. And, when Darby heard the news, he found that they did find the rest of the gold vein, which ended up being millions and millions and millions of dollars. And they found it just 3 feet of where he had quit and given up. Okay. So just know that if you push through and you're persistent, you delegate, you find people that are better than you at specific tasks, you're going to push forward. You're going to break through. You're going to have that success. And you're going to grow in that leadership. Like, it will happen for you. And so that's all I've got for you guys today. Make sure that you like and share the Tenacious Kate podcast. You can join our Tenacious Kate community over on Facebook as well. We also are on LinkedIn. But again, like, share, subscribe to this channel if you are on the YouTube and watching this. And I will catch you next week as we talk about in our episode 14. And as we continue to focus on leadership for this month. Have a good day. Bye, guys.